Hello, and welcome to the Sly Forever channel. I am Sly4, here with another video. Enjoy.
I am here on the first day of the New York trip, and I'm in the hotel, just wandering, roaming the halls. Blogging. But yeah, I'm in the Hotel Pennsylvania, wandering around, and basically this is the first day of the New York trip. I haven't really done much as of yet. It's basically just been a lot of travelling. I'm not sure what the hand gesture was. It equalised. But yeah, it's been a lot of travel and dark. It's basically just been travelling backwards and forwards with, side corridor. The plane journey, which was getting up at 6 in the morning, sitting in the airport for like 2 hours, and then getting on the plane, taking the 8-hour plane journey over here to New York, to America, then taking a hour-long coach journey, which got us here to actually in New York. But we're here, and New York is awesome so far. There'll be photos and stuff, and I'll probably do another bit of vlogging later. I'm sort of just wandering the hotel, getting my bearings a bit. I've wandered around the street and we had McDonald's for some reason, because the portion sizes are ridiculous. And yeah. So basically, that is what I've done so far. We are about to go wander around New York on a little tour, so I will vlog with you later. Goodbye. Okay, and then we're back. A lot happened. We wandered around New York. We went through one of the main streets with a lot of TV screens all over the place, and it was awesome. One thing I was going to mention before, move away from noisy areas, one thing I was going to mention before is that the United Airways is possibly the best plane food I've ever had, which is awesome. Today we went into a Italian pizza place for dinner, and it was awesome. The guy in there was really friendly. It was called Pops, and it's right near Madison Square Gardens, so if you are in New York, check that out, because it is awesome. The pizzas are really cheap, they're really tasty. They've got some great Snapple juice drinks, and they're so good. So good. But yeah, so that's been the first day of the New York trip, dark area. I'm not really sure what I was doing there. And then I walked straight back into the dark area. Why, Delilah? Not Delilah. But yeah, so that's been the first day of the New York trip. I will see you all tomorrow for the second day, where we're going to be visiting the Natural History Museum and doing some wandering around, possibly visiting the Guggenheim Museum, Art Museum. And I've got to do a bunch of my sketchbook work, because I am on a university trip, and that is kind of what I got to do. But yeah, we will see you all tomorrow. Goodbye. Bye. Okay, it's the start of the second day, and we me and Chris here. Yeah, Chris. We went to, and Theo as well, who isn't here anymore because he's at the American Modern Art Museum. And we're on our way to the Natural History Museum, which there'll be a bunch of pictures from. And this morning we went to a diner on 33rd and 7th called Andrew's, and it was awesome. Okay, so partway through day 2, we'd been to the Natural History Museum, and it was awesome. I spent a day doing drawings of all the animals and whale and dinosaur skeletons and all sorts of like bears and loads of stuff, and it was awesome. And then we went to the pizza place that I mentioned before, Pop's Pizza Place on 33rd and 7th, or on 7th Avenue between 33rd and 34th Street. And yeah, it's awesome. You should go there if you're ever in New York. So I'll speak to you again later on. We will be doing something, going and eating, going shopping, something. Bye. Third day, shopping day, and I'm here with Chris. Chris, say hello. And Theo. Theo. That's Theo. We've literally just went to Andrew's cafe again for breakfast, and it was awesome. Again, had even more breakfast.
I did get a static shock.
For like $1 extra, we got French toast with the pancakes and bacon and eggs and sausages and syrup and butter and
gazing.
yeah, and had a chocolate and banana
Thing.
milkshake.
Chunky monkey.
Yeah, and it was awesome. And then we went to 7-Eleven and bought a Slurpee, a blue raspberry Slurpee, for like $2.70. With tax, $2.70. Without tax was $2. But yeah, and it was awesome. So we are going shopping, and later on we will be doing other things. Okay, I'm back from my New York trip. Back in my room. As you can see, everything is pretty much normal, except for the horrible glare in my glasses. So you can just make you not see my eyes by going brrr. But yeah. About day 3, 4 and 5 being the day we returned from New York, the reason I didn't do any vlogging is because a lot happened on day 3. Like, loads. First off, took the subway down to Soho. Well, went back to Andrew's cafe and had amazing pancakes and full breakfast again, and it was ridiculously awesome. Then took the subway over to Soho, Prince Street, I believe, where we then went and found the Kid Robot shop, where I bought 2 little Labbits and a Raffi DIY vinyl, if you know what those are. So there'll be pictures of them probably. Yeah, that's being weird. But yeah, we then went over to Union Square and found a Forbidden Planet store, which apparently, after asking the owners, they started off as the same store chain as the Forbidden Planets in England, but they were started up by a member of Forbidden Planet. Oh god, tickly throat. They were started up by a member of the Forbidden Planet UK, who then broke off and made it his own sort of... They're still sort of the same chain, but he's just made it so that that is the only one in the USA that isn't in the UK even, which is pretty awesome. So we went to the only Forbidden Planet outside of UK, and it was so cool. There was so much stuff in there. We then took the subway again down to the South Ferry, which is right down at the bottom of Manhattan Island, and we were going to take a trip over to the Statue of Liberty, but after checking the price and checking how much money each of us had at that point, which for halfway through the holiday was ridiculously small amounts, because we just spent so much on awesome stuff, basically. and awesome foods. We then went back up to Central Park instead. We took a bunch of photos from the shoreline of the Statue of Liberty and like the park area on the shore, where it had like this massive eagle statue and memorial, which was pretty cool. But we then went back up to Central Park and a giant toy store, which I've got little bits of video for, which I'll probably flick up. I bought a giant bag of Twizzlers, basically strawberry lace, and I will probably film myself trying to challenge myself to eat them. Whether I'll do like a shortest time or how many I can eat in so much time, I'm not sure. I might not even challenge myself, I might just treat them as a giant gift to myself. But we shall see. There may be a video coming up for that, there may not. But then it goes on to the fourth day, and on the fourth day we went as a whole group to the Skyline Diner, which was a little bit further away and ended up being a little bit more expensive than Andrews. So if you are in that sort of area, I would still recommend Andrews. But it was nice, they had really good pancakes. Basically had breakfast there. We then went and took the subway to Brooklyn and took the subway over to the coastline of Manhattan, the sort of South Soho, East Soho coast, and then sort of walked down the coast a bit, and then across the Brooklyn Bridge. By that time it was like snowing and freezing cold and very windy because you're walking across effectively a coast. It's just how it is, you walk pretty much from one coast to the next. And it was awesome though, it was so good. Brooklyn Bridge is definitely worth a visit if you're in New York or Brooklyn or anywhere near that area. But then when we got to Brooklyn, we spent ages wandering around looking for the Tyra McPherson shop, which was awesome when we eventually found it. But a bit of advice, it's on South 1st Street in Brooklyn. South meaning the actual street that it's on is called South 1st Street. It's not actually the most southerly 1st Street, because there are about 6 of them, about 6 to 8 1st Streets in Brooklyn, and we spent all day pretty much walking from one, sort of getting the subway to one, walking all the way along it, which was very long, getting the subway back up to another, walking along it, getting a bit lost, taking directions from several people who were all really helpful. There was this guy in a sort of charity shop for kids, sort of building little robots, sort of like as a little art-based, just kind of oh my god, as a sort of art-based charity store, which was really awesome. And then there was a Mishka store. Mishka is another artist who does sort of vinyl toys and that sort of thing. And the guys who worked in that store were awesome, and they gave us directions back up to the Tyra McPherson shop. And when we eventually got there, it was really cool, because the guy in there, Stephen, I think he said his name was? I'm fairly certain it was Stephen, I could be entirely wrong, it started with an S. But he basically just let us walk around, took photos for us, just had a really good chat with him, and he like brought a bunch of like trophies and stuff that Tyra had won out of the bag, and was just like, do you want photos with these, do you want photos with these? It was really awesome. And they brought out some of her vinyl, like her really expensive vinyls that she's made. And although stuff in that shop was a bit higher priced than I would have wanted it to be, obviously it's an artist store, so you can expect them to be a bit more expensive. So like shirts were like $30, which £15 for a shirt, well, sort of £17 for a shirt is about what you'd expect for like an art shirt with a design sort of all the way down the front. Not this one. This one I bought myself. But yeah, and then there was like a bunch of other stuff like the vinyls and art books and all sorts of stuff, like big prints and things. But yeah, I ended up not being able to buy too much, but I bought like a few little bits. So it was pretty awesome, although difficult to find. So hopefully, me telling you that it's South Broad Street, not Broad Street at all, South First Street in Brooklyn, but not the most southerly First Street. So look it up. It's near Metropolitan Avenue, if that's any help. So hopefully that will help you if you go and search for the Tom McPherson shop, and you have better luck finding it than we did. But we had a good day. We had a nice walk around sort of Brooklyn area. Didn't get attacked or anything, so that's always a positive. And then we went and took the subway back up to Union Square and went back into the Forbidden Planet to have another look round, and it was really cool still. Everything was super awesome. I'm not really sure why I said super awesome, I don't know. But then it goes to the final day, where we went back to Andrew's Cafe and sort of scraped together money for breakfast, because we were all sort of running out at that point, except for me, who had still like $100. I think I had $200. Nope. I'm not sure if that's better or worse. Boo, blinding light. I had about $200 to spend on magic cards, which I bought an Avacyn booster box, which I'll show you at the end of this little vloggy section where I'm just kind of recapping the last 3 days. And I bought that in Montasy Comics, but yeah, we went there after Andrew's, but I had waffles instead of like the full breakfast, because I was kind of scraping together bits of money, and the waffles were only like $5, which for the size of the waffle, it was like a full plate of waffles with syrup and butter, and they were so nice. So if you don't have enough money to buy a full breakfast, I definitely recommend the waffles. But yeah, and then after that we went to Montasy Comics, I bought the Avacyn box set, we sat and played Magic for a while, and then we got the coach back. And after a long flight, where I got some cool photos of like sort of New York lit up at night time, because we were flying out sort of 7 PM, and then got like a shot of the sunrise, which I'm not sure if I'll put it in depending on the quality of it. But yeah, and I watched a couple of films, and it was really cool. But we are now back in Birmingham, and I can start uploading again, so the rest of this vlog will just be like pictures and bits of video from everything that I did, and I hope you really enjoy it. Bye!